Afternoon. This is Veterans Talk. It ain't nothing but a thing, but it's a thing we want you to tune into every Saturday afternoon. I'm Elson McGee, your host, and I'm here with my partner in crime, my brother in Christ.
Yes.
Tony, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. And you?
I had to say that because, we've been causing a lot of stuff that I had lately, and everybody might think we on the other side, but we're still men of God, first of all.
Yes.
And we are here doing his duty. We're talking about and trying to make sense out of a sensitive situation called the plight of veterans in the USA, and the USA with the plight of veterans. This is hard to understand. In a nation that got so much, we got people, over 250,000 veterans homeless in this country.
Yeah.
And then we still got 17 to 22 committing suicide every day. And they don't see it as a crisis situation, except in the families of those that's
in the immediate family.
In the immediate family. And we got to make sure that we doing the calling of the hearts of the people that we represent, the 240 plus that were killed in Vietnam, to make the ultimate sacrifice for the freedoms that we have in this country every day. Make no mistake about it, the freedoms didn't come free. We are in a predicament right now, though, where we got some shysters, and we call them like them is, shysters that's trying to cause so much chaos that they think that they're gonna take over the government in this country, and if they can convince us not to vote, and that's the only way they can stop us, Tony. If they can convince us not to vote, or get on one of these third-party candidates and waste our vote. Now, this ain't no time for us to waste a vote. We can't afford to waste it because, sadly to say, we got more Americans that's going down the path of sabotage in this country than I thought would ever do that, Tony.
Yeah.
I'm shocked at the number of Americans that's willing to support a candidate, which happened to just be an ex-president. Mm-hmm. I can't say billionaire because we don't really know whether he got no money or not, Tony. I saw the stock, how he manipulated the stock market just recently.
Yep.
One day they reported him as just coming out of this amazing thing where he done made over $4 billion. And the next day, we heard that all that was gone away. It's like hocus pocus, this is what we got. And we can say that the problem is not just with him.
Oh, no.
It's with a large contingency of people that's already stationed in our government. Mm-hmm. That's not doing what the Constitution called for them to do. Congress. Now, this is sad. They got a Congress, especially the House of Representatives, that's wasting taxpayers' dollars on a witch hunt for Biden. That want to just find dirt on Biden. If it's dirt, it's gonna show up. They done wasted millions of tax dollars and they ain't find nothing. Just keep coming up with blank things.
Part of that, according to my understanding, is a distraction.
Yeah.
They are aware of the person they have running for president of the Republican Party is creating so much chaos and told so many lies or stretched the truth that they need to distract everybody from his tactics for how he wants to run the government and change the country.
Change the country.
We have a constitutional government that operates in this country, but he wants to change that.
Yeah.
And so what they're trying to do is create as much distraction as they can until hopefully, and meaning for them, hopefully, he is reelected. And that's the sad part about it, is the effort and the monies, not just but the monies that are being spent to present him as a presidential candidate for that party.
Billions of dollars are being changed around, Tony, because some of it is not going for campaigning. They're just trying to keep him out of jail.
Yes.
Listen, I'm an ex-offender, so I know how the laws work. I mean, unfortunately, that was part of what I had to go through after Vietnam. Coming home as the returning wounded of my generation, we had no understanding of PTSD. My wounds were shrapnel wounds, so they weren't real serious physical wounds, but I had a severe mental wound. And being 21 years old, coming back from Vietnam, wounded, and the country in chaos. I mean, I'm coming through Fort Lewis, Washington. They trying to sneak us around in the back. I'm trying to figure out how can we go out the back. I'm looking for a ticket to take a parade. I done survived hell, so I'm looking for, and I got people spitting on me.
Yes.
It created a mentality, and people don't understand yet that PTSD is a bad behavior disorder. That's plain and simple. I had to go through it and understand it and see it and able to learn how to manage it with treatment. We got to be able to understand that military service requires such a sacrifice from young people that they don't know about. And unfortunately, we still are not getting the military to tell the whole truth to the family of the returnees. If they put as much, and you say this all the time, Tony, if they put as much into preparing us for the military, preparing us to get out of the military, we would have a better plight as veterans in this country. And the families, see, a lot of people don't see the families suffering when their loved one has got a mental illness that's so pervasive that they become homeless, or they commit suicide. This is somebody that they knew went into the military in good physical and mental form. And then coming back home, they completely different person.
One of the things that we realized in looking back at it is that we were evaluated before we went into the military. And if we were considered damaged goods, we weren't accepted into the military.
We're going to be accepted.
That was it. Unfortunately, when we had finished our service honorably, some of us were returning as damaged goods as a result of the war.
Listen, I confess.
Yes.
And then the ugly part about it, Tony, I didn't want to accept it.
Yes.
I didn't know how to accept it because I went in with this pride and the expectation of myself and my family that I was going to come back a better person, a more mature person, And when I got home, the next day, well, my mama had to hear that fighting and screaming in my sleep before she wanted to know, what's wrong with you, son? Why are you screaming and hollering in your sleep like that? I don't know. I don't remember.
Yep.
And now she's saying something wrong with you. This is my mama.
Yeah.
But she was telling me the truth.
Yes.
And she didn't know what was wrong, but she knows something was different.
Exactly.
And it wasn't positive, Tony.
Yep.
It was not positive.
Yep.
Because it was, uncharacteristic, first of all. And it was probably scary to her because she had me holler and crying in my sleep, and I'm not asleep. I'm on the floor, low crawling, Tony.
Yep.
So this is, multiply this with the 3 million people that served in Vietnam. It was tragic because what we have earned is the fastest dying generation ever of veterans because of PTSD, suicides, and Agent Orange exposure, which causes all kind of stuff in our bodies, cancers. And but now, Tony, what I'm saying this to get to this point. For the first time in the history of the VA, under the Biden administration, they have expanded benefits beyond my expectation. And this is why I've been saying this for the last few, and I'm talking to you now. Because, see, you was in the Air Force.
Yep.
And who brought the stuff to Vietnam? You know, I'm gonna say,
Yes.
you know, I mean, and you didn't have to directly touch it. You might have been on a plane that was and didn't know it.
Exactly. Yes.
But you know this though. You've been diagnosed with prostate cancer, and thank God you overcame it.
Yep.
But now it needs to be recognized, Tony.
Yes.
You know, see, all of them, you was looking at the military bases there in the meeting,
Yep.
and I was good. I wanted to say something there to you then, but I was glad I wanted you to see that.
Yep.
Because I want all of my brothers and sisters to reevaluate their claims.
Yeah.
You know, look at their claims. Because these benefits, Tony, was not just meant for you. They was meant for you, your family, and the community.
Yes.
And if you get them, it benefit you, your family, and the community. And see, I guess I had this American dream. I was going to the military, you know, earn the benefits and go to law school and, you know, become a successful lawyer. And they had no idea that being wounded and traumatized was going to change not only my life, but my directions. You know, because I was no longer in charge of my destiny at that point.
Yeah.
And the country that promised me, if I'm wounded, you know, if I'm hurt during this service, they would take care of me and my family. Well, Tony, I tell you, man, it took me 16 calendar years to get recognized as that. You know? And it ain't funny because I became a revenge warrior somewhat, because after I got mine, after finishing law school, that's all I want to do was fight the VA for veteran benefits.
Yeah.
Because I recognized that if they did me like that with the record that I have, my record is, I can lay it out in front of you. My stuff is in the records. It wasn't like it wasn't in the records.
Yes.
They looked at me and said, "Well, you dressed pretty good, boy. You suffered a little anxiety at the end of your military and Vietnam stuff, but you look all right now. You good." They didn't even talk to my mom. You know,
Yeah,
they didn't even ask, well, how does he act when he's at home? How, you know, he dresses nice. He's taking care of stuff, isn't he? My mom said, no, and not that I can tell you. This is not the same child I sent to y'all.
Exactly.
Y'all need to examine this and see what went wrong.
Yeah.
Because I know he's not a bad person, you know, but he's doing bad, stupid stuff now. You know, he doing stuff that make him not open up to his family, which I'm my only son. I used to tell people I had 5 mamas because I had 4 sisters that always dot me. My oldest sister called me this morning. How you doing? She started praying, you know, started thanking God for me. I said, Lord, listen, they've always been there. My family has always been there, but the stuff that we experience sometime in the military, we don't share it with them, Tony.
Exactly.
We can't talk to them. So the military got to come up with a way to inform these families when these young folks coming back out of the military, and equip the family. Because see, they couldn't have equipped me because I wasn't there.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? But I had an influence if they had been equipped. My mom and my dad, my family, if they had been equipped, I wouldn't have spent 20 years in prison.
Right. Yep.
Which destroyed my children's life. You know, I didn't get no benefits from them, for them. You know, and then sometime I talk to my youngest daughter, who's my baby still, she's 60 years old, but she's still my baby. You know, and she said, Dad, you know what I miss most about growing up? She said, when I used to visit you in prison, they used to call the end of the visit. I didn't want to leave you.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't understand the impact that non-care for veterans is causing their families and the community. I just, you know, in the last 25 years, I have been working in the community, Tony, and I don't think I made amends for the loss that I could have been to the community, but faithfully, you know, meeting you and some other brothers like Greg Fan. You know, that's my brother, that's my preacher, man, that's my friend, who believed in me. who was encouraging to me, who made sure that, listen, you've been to seminary, you in the pulpit.
Yeah.
He didn't think about it. And he knew I was just coming out of prison. He didn't, he knew the power of God could do anything. And he was there to make sure I understood it.
Yes.
That I could do it. And it has been an encouragement for me throughout my journey. But I see so many young people, Tony, and you've been around, been with me, that ain't getting the care. I know one case we got, young man committed suicide. His mom is still tore up.
Yeah.
She was actually in a program with us, that Tony program.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what, unfortunately, she is not getting the care that she need to deal with that tragedy. This was her baby.
Yes.
This was her baby, and it done traumatized her for this boy to come home and shoot and kill himself. And she know to this very day, he was going to the VA and wasn't being received.
Right. Yes.
In a way that could have saved his life, or what she believed could have saved his life.
Right.
And I do too.
Yeah.
After what we've been doing, trying to look at this situation and looking at, man, we know, and you talk about this all the time, Tony. Help us come back home.
Yes.
The way you prepared us to leave home.
Yeah. The thing about it is, like we've said and talked before, if we were not qualified, we would not have been accepted into the military. So they got a qualified, healthy, strong
young man,
both physically and mentally.
Mm-hmm. Young person.
And then when they were returned home, they sent home damaged goods.
Damaged goods.
With no guarantee that supposedly the VA system was set up to handle that, but it was damaged goods with no real source of help to deal with those damaged goods. And the families weren't ready for that.
It took to 1980 for them to recognize post-traumatic stress.
Yes.
Now it is one of the most diagnosed issues in the country, not just for veterans, but for other folks.
Exactly.
My daughter, excuse me, has been diagnosed with PTSD.
Yeah.
And that came from domestic violence that she had to endure because I wasn't here to raise her but she could be better at selecting her partners.
Yeah, right.
So she selected folks that was abusive and traumatized her.
Yeah. We thought we were getting a good deal, and we were.
Yeah.
But there are and were parts of it that didn't function properly. And, the military, they recognized that, but they were slow in moving and recognizing and acting on it.
Yes.
And therein was the problem. And so as a result, we as veterans struggle with all that trauma that we dealt with, trying to figure out what's wrong. And I know they were aware of the fact that these young men experienced trauma, but we were established to care for them. And I guess a part of it was they weren't aware of how to, then when they became aware of how to, then it should have been as much energy as they put in preparing us for war, which should have been used for preparing us to move back into society and deal with that trauma we'll deal with.
And then, see, Tony, our generation, brother, it was more than trauma. We was exposed to a toxic that was so deadly, it has killed more people than the war itself.
Yes. Yep.
Because it grabs all kinds of body, prostate cancer, lung cancer, heart disease, all kind of stuff that this stuff is in our body causing. And they are just now acknowledging the fullness of that usage, right? Because up until this year, this is the last of 2023, they started expanding the PAC Act, which recognized, which I don't know why they didn't recognize from Jump Street, that Dow Jones Chemicals was made in this country, and it was purchased by the military. They had to get it to Vietnam, and the way they got it to Vietnam is people in the states handle that stuff, put it on planes and boats.
Yep.
Planes and boats. And that they are already recognized now that some of the planes was contaminated.
Yes, yeah.
And they didn't tell us about this until after, 20, almost 30 years? So many of us have perished, died. Families left without any knowledge of this stuff. Now that the Biden administration has pushed this PAC Act forward, we want every veteran and his family to know, even those that have passed. In some cases, the benefit can be gotten by the surviving spouse or surviving children. If they had a disabled child, right, that was disabled from childhood, that child can still get that parent's benefits to this very day. But they don't know about it, Tony.
Yep.
And then we see it not just during our generation. We dealing with a case that a young man had 3 children, hadn't got his service connection before he passed, and had his children all involved with that. All of them was being taken care of by this young man. He got killed in an accident. Now, we don't know whether his service-connected conditions caused the accident.
Yeah.
We're going to find out. Because we're not finna just accept the fact that he was not service-connected. His death was not service-connected by a death certificate. Because we done seen that happen too many times. Especially when we are dealing with surviving spouses and surviving dependents. The hardest thing for them to do is to understand that sometimes what's printed on the death certificate has a secondary connection to the service.
Right.
You know, and we're trying to teach them that so that they can get these benefits. You was about to say.
Yeah, not just the family, medical examiners who are stating cause of death. You know, their knowledge needs to be included in the fact that this was something not directly by what is happening now, but what was in what he had experienced, what he had lived through, what all the stuff that he was exposed to was a contributing factor.
It was a contributing.
And so those things need to be applied and clarified in the death certificate. So we're just looking for accurate information on the actual cause of death.
And justice.
And justice for the family.
And justice for the family.
Yes.
Because, see, since we've been doing the Sons of Atlanta, we had the opportunity to meet with some of the families of these guys, man. And they didn't know their loved one that well because they was younger than the loved one that went to Vietnam or was in the military and was killed during the Vietnam era. And so they don't know what kind of conditions the family could have gotten,
right.
which in a lot of cases, now, if you were killed in the military, right, your mom is on your paperwork as your dependent.
Yeah.
If you were killed in the military, your mom is supposed to get a check every month for the rest of her life. And they don't know it.
Yeah, no.
They don't know it. Nobody told them. You know what they do? They give them that one check, that one $10,000 burial check, and that's the end of it.
Yeah.
But we finna wake these folks up with the Sons of Atlanta. They're not gonna treat my homies like that.
Yeah.
And let's not say anything about these benefits were meant for the veteran, the family, and his community, because it's too much of it. When I walk down Cleveland Avenue, or when I'm on Cleveland, I don't walk no more. You know? But when I'm on Cleveland Avenue in some of the stores or on the side of the highway to see signs, I'm a veteran, I'm homeless.
Yeah.
You know, it breaks my heart, Tony, because except for the grace of God, there go I.
Yes.
You
Exactly.
know, so we have to work to make sure that the community need to understand that these conditions cause the situation that they're dealing with right now.
Yes. Yes.
And if we can get past all the red tape and stuff in society that we see coming through government, we can help a lot more people.
Yeah.
You know, a lot more like we doing, Tony, like we're trying to do anyway with the Fulton County. You know, right now we're pausing for Fulton County to give out another $1 million in our name.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
and based on our work, we just want to make sure that the right people in the community is getting this money so they can apply it to the situations in our community.
Yes.
We just had the commissioner sitting right here say he want to get more.
Yeah. Because he's recognizing the fact that, yes, it's $1 million, but that's just a drop in the bucket based on the need of our community. Because like you said, you look under most bridges in the city of Atlanta, and you're going to see somebody sitting there. And if you look next to them, there's probably a sign that says, "I'm a veteran."
I'm a veteran.
And that's sad.
That's heartbreaking, man.
Yes.
That's heartbreaking. And I'm so glad we are opening up this conversation because some people are hearing us.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, they like Marvin Arrington Jr. heard us, you know, and you know, like he say, well, it took 3 years. I don't care, brother. You heard us.
Yes.
You know, and you're doing it, and not you ain't just doing it. Get it started. You're standing down to say we need to give them more.
Exactly.
But
yes.
we need to make sure it's having an impact, getting in the right hands, because see, we got a lot of pimps in the kitchen now.
Yep.
And I'm not afraid to say it because, you know, they're there and they're usurping the resources
Right.
we need for change.
Yes.
We need for change.
Yeah.
You know, I was hoping the day Johnny Miller, I hope you're watching. You're going to come on here, so you might as well come on because you're a herdsman. You know, one for all and all for one. So I know you're going to come on because you called me and told me you're going to come.
Yeah.
If we miss you today, bro, I'll see you next week.
Yeah, we'll be here next Saturday.
Next Saturday, so you got to, we ain't going to stop because we want the triple nickels to become a part of this project.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you're bringing light to our service and our history service, especially paratroopers. You know, you know how we go, we roll, we all for one and one for all, especially the herd. I take real pride in having been a part of that unit, the 173rd Airborne Separate, because you know what? It was the most decorated combat unit that served in Vietnam, and I'm gonna tell you what, it was 75% looked like me.
Really?
They were some soldiers, man. They were crazy boys that fought like soldiers all the time and stuck together like, listen, when we went downtown, if one got in trouble, everybody got in trouble. That was all for one and one for all. So I'm looking forward to having Johnny Miller on the show so that he can share some of the things that, matter of fact, he was in Doc Toe. I got in Vietnam on December of 1967. In 1968, January, that was the Tet Offensive.
Right.
Johnny was at Doc Toe. That was 875. It was they took so many casualties. I was actually not going to the 173rd. I was going to be with the 101st Airborne. They changed my orders and put me with the herd because they needed. It was only 15 standing men in my company when I got there because Johnny and them had done.
Yep.
They had a battle on 875. And it took a lot of casualties, and he was one of them, you know. So I was going to clean up what they had done messed up, you know. I was going to have the scariest experience of my life when I got off the helicopter. I'm up there, I see the smoking and the smell of bodies.
Yeah.
You know, but that's war.
Yeah.
And that's why we say in the Sons of Atlanta, all gave some, but some gave all. And you know, we are bringing brothers together. You know, we had Ray Tatum on here. He was wounded in combat in Vietnam, and so we're bringing people to the table that can share information. And not only that, Johnny works in the community now to help veterans.
Yeah.
That's what he do. You know, not just ceremoniously. You know, he's out there helping veterans, you know, overcome. So we're definitely looking forward to having Johnny Miller on the show. Matter of fact, his sister have bought 2 bricks, one for him, and I told her, so we're buying Johnny no brick. Johnny buys his own brick. But that's just so the family, the family, the love of family, the love of family. She bought one for both of her brothers. You know, and that's what we want everybody to recognize now. This is about family. We bringing Sons of Atlanta to it, Sons of Atlanta, and what we hope, we're planting the seed that every one of these individuals that's on the wall in D.C., that their hometowns will start recognizing them. That they'll be recognizing their hometown. Because, see, that's where the sacrifice is felt the most. You know, they come out of their families, they come out of these communities that realize that these young men died in war. Now, we need to talk about why they died in war. They believed that they was fighting for one nation, individual. Under God, with liberty and justice for all. And we know when we was pledging that allegiance back then, it wasn't true, but we believed that it could be true. And I think all of us work toward that dream, that, you know, and I'm going to tell you, Tony, it's happening. And we might not see it like that, because think about it. When we went in the military in the 60s, let's say we went in the military. And now I know for a fact in Atlanta, Georgia, there was no black on city council.
Absolutely.
County commission. And I know in College Park and East Point, but look at it now.
Really?
Listen, you got a black mayor, man. And the city council, you got Joe Kearns in city council. You know, I think one of the most astute young politicians in our community. You know, and a caring brother, you know, that care about what he's doing for the community. You know, we watch these young folks, man, and they got the mentality that they work for all the people. They ain't just working for the black community. They working for everybody in the community. See, and that's what makes me so excited when I'm with Michael Julian Barnes. You know, I mean, this brother worked for all of the people in his district.
Just like
in
his
Atlanta.
father.
Just like his dad. Just like his dad. See, and this is why we're calling on the Sons of Atlanta, whether they was in the military or not, that's fighting for our hometown, that's doing good stuff in our hometown. And we need you, because right now we're going into the community centers and libraries and make sure information and resources are made available, because we got too many resources that's being allocated every year by government. Now we just look at our young mayor. This man done came in there, he done bought a canteen, some of them nice little old things too, to get the home. He getting buildings that's out of use, finna put them into use, which we got enough for that not to happen. And you know what? He just bold enough to do it. So I like watching him. I love watching my mayor.
The power of the spoken word, and I believe you're putting it out there affected the universe. You said there are buildings in the city of Atlanta, heat, air, water, and vacant.
They ain't doing nothing but causing the taxpayers money.
That's it. But by putting that energy out there, it got into the ear of the mayor.
And the mayor, he working it.
And he's working.
He's working.
He, not only little small building, he took a high rise in the middle of 5 Points.
He's working
and
it.
Designated a portion of that for housing.
Because you know what? It hurts him to look at the people homeless, man. He got a heart for his hometown. He got a heart for his people.
He is a son of Atlanta.
He's a son of Atlanta. See, that's what makes it so exciting. When we raised up these sons of Atlanta just because they was in the military, but we calling on all these sons of Atlanta that wasn't in the military. It's a call to unity. It's a call to unity, and we ain't gonna stop calling. We're gonna be calling it till it happens. Where we got communities like what we grew up in. The doors was open all the time, because ain't nobody finna break in your house when the neighbor looking. You know.
When the lady next door is sitting on the porch looking at them.
Look at that. And then what? And then they had to. What you doing, boy? What you doing, boy? And then they had no gun either.
No.
They had to respect. of the children that was being raised with respect for the people.
Yes.
You know,
Just for the community.
Just for the community.
I grew up in the small section of the black community of College Park.
Mm-hmm.
We respected that. We were proud to call College Park our home.
Our home, yeah.
Yes.
And you know, and we didn't have as much as we got now.
Oh no.
Listen, opportunities that's done open up in this country for us. Listen, how many billionaires we got? Listen, man.
Yeah.
We got billionaires in this city, black billionaires.
Yeah, black. Yes.
That look like me, billionaires. And I ain't talking about millionaires. We got a bunch of millionaires, but we got billionaires, and they doing great things in this city.
Yes.
You know, Tyler Perry. You know, I can just call names. C.D. Moody. You know, I mean, these are billionaire young men.
Yes. And contributing to the community.
And contributing to the community. They want to make the community.
They could have gone to California or New York and lived a high life, but they lived here.
And then contributing to the community, to make the community a better place for all of us.
Yes.
And that's all we want.
Yeah.
That's what the American dream is. And we got to stop these people from thinking of creating this hate and division among us by making us feel like, well, we're trying to replace somebody. No, we're not trying to replace nobody. We can't replace nobody. What we're trying to do is get that equal opportunity for everybody. Because, see, it's enough for everybody, but it's concentrated in the hands of a few billionaires that don't want to pay their workers a livable wage. You know, and it would hurt them. It wouldn't hurt them because they got more money than they'll ever spend. But they still don't want to pay their workers a livable wage. We got to get a better grip on that. You got to get a better grip on that. And then we got to get a better grip on these young millionaires that's being created every year when college graduates. From we see boy driving a Lamborghini and just tear it up, you know, he just been dubbed a multi-millionaire, what, 2 years?
Yeah.
You know, 2 years out of college. And crazy bad bull.
Yes.
You know, we got to help these young folks see that they are being blessed in a way that they're supposed to be a blessing.
Yes.
You know? Yeah. So, because you can look at some of them, they T.I. I love T.I.
Yeah.
Because you know what he doing? He building up Bankhead, bro. I grew up on, and I walked in the streets.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, so when you see that kind of stuff, man, you know, God is good.
Yeah.
We don't want to say it sometimes, but I say it all the time because I walk where I don't walk them. I ride the streets of Atlanta, my hometown where I grew up, and I see the changes. Yeah. I see the progress, man. You know, a lot of people can't see it because they didn't experience it from where we came from.
Exactly. And just imagine, you know, we never imagined seeing a city without public housing.
No.
We don't have public housing.
No, I haven't known that.
That was a way of life for so many people.
For so many people.
You know, and some of those public houses was named after famous people in the city, you know, but it was probably an honor at the time, but it wasn't the honor that they truly deserved for what they contributed to the city. Yeah. You know, and so when they disappeared, you know, it was like, it was honor, but that's not what the city needs. The city and the people have outgrown that.
Yeah, and I think it was a stepping stone.
Yes, exactly.
Because it built the political power that we got, you know, it grew the political power because when Jose and Marvin Harrison Sr. and all them folks wanted to go into politics, they went into these places and got the people to vote.
Exactly.
They done forgot. These young folks done forgot. They done got so much money. They ain't spending no time. Right now they should be going. One of the populations that gonna be undercounted and lobbied for in this election is the senior citizen community, especially those that are in wheelchairs in situations where they can't go to the poll, right? Ain't nobody in there trying to make sure they get write-in ballots, you know. And we need to do that. We need to make sure that that gonna make them feel a part of the process that they helped build.
Yes.
You know, so we need to get the Democratic Party, and I'm saying this, but I'm not a Democrat. But right now we need the Democrats to win.
Yeah.
You know, and I hate to say this, they need to win so bad. This Republican Party have a moment to repent. You know, they need to beat them into repentance, man. Because see, I done voted for Republicans before, Tony. I mean, George W. Bush, I voted for him. He was a pilot in the military. You know, I voted for him. I'm not ashamed that I voted for him because he was a good president.
Yes.
I voted for John McCain, too. You know, because I knew he was a veteran and I knew who his heart was. His heart was for the people of this country.
Yes.
And we need to, and I'm going to tell you what, I need to just say this here. These young veterans that's in politics now, I mean, I salute you, man. Mm-hmm. I look at this young man in Maryland, Westmore.
Yes.
He's amazing, man. He was a military man.
Yeah.
And you can tell it, too. You know, I watched him beside Biden. He couldn't stop clapping.
Yeah.
Because he know he's putting together the coalition to build that bridge, and it's going to come up. Because they got the Army Corps of Engineers, bro. Yeah. Them young folks build bridges overnight. So we finna see some stuff of people coming together with all the people.
Yes.
See, this ain't gonna be no separation in what they doing up there in Maryland now because they got the right people at the right time, finna do the right thing, and everything gonna be seen.
Yes.
They're gonna be seen in the way they're gonna say, yeah, this young man. Then he's gonna overcome a lot of the hate that's and there, because he's gonna make sure that bridge is rebuilt in time, and all the people gonna be taken care of that was injured by this bridge, and the families that lost their loved ones. Mm-hmm. You know, because they're acknowledging it, they're recognizing, they're stepping to it together. And he asking, "Come on, help me. Come on, help me." He said, "But now I ain't asking you just for Maryland, because we don't lead it like that. Mm-hmm. This Pope has an economic impact for the whole nation."
Yes, for a major portion of the East Coast, you know, and he looks like us.
See, that's the problem. And watch his work. See, that's what I'm talking about. Watch his work. See, his work gonna show people. Listen, and Barack work showed people too.
Still does.
It still does. You know, and we got to tell people why. So many people, even some of the Democrats, talking about Biden was too old. Mm-hmm. They're scared that Kamala Harris gonna be the first black female president. That's what they scared of. But God is in charge of it all, and we're not gonna worry about that. We just gonna support Joe right now, because he's the best candidate for the job.
For the job, exactly.
Right now, because he's working for all the people. You know, I mean, he ain't gonna never be able to satisfy all the people.
No.
But he's gonna, those people that got a right heart gonna go to the poll and understand that it's really not about Joe's age. It's about not letting Donald Trump back into the presidency. That's what it's really about. And if we don't know that, we need to take a break. We need to take a break, because what is going on with this, the way he's taking over this party and pausing the spirit of people in this country, and he got it in a way that he has actually spreading violence that he hoped will be a racial war. He hoped would be a racial war, because he's spiking these people that don't know no better to do his threats. To do his threats. But now, it's a country of laws, and we should say this to the Biden administration. You can't be soft on people that's threatening government workers. I don't care whether they're judges or poll workers. When you threaten the life of an American worker, or anybody in America, you need to be dealt with swiftly. You know, because you're creating an atmosphere of antagonism that, you know, we don't need. We don't need that kind of antagonism in our communities. That's what's stopping the communities from coming together and working on the common problems that we have in this country. And the biggest common problem we got right now is lack.
Yes.
Lack creates crime. Lack create situations where mental illness is not dealt with.
Right.
They ain't got, but it shouldn't be the lack, Tony, because let me say this here. We got over 100 billionaires in this country.
Yeah.
People that got more money than they'll ever spend.
Yes.
And they don't want to pay no taxes. The taxes that we pay take care of the social issues they're supposed to, but we got a Congress right now that don't want child care. But they they want to get into telling the woman what to do with her body.
Yes.
I don't want to talk about that.
That's a topic that's a show by itself, really. That topic, it impacts. It's so deep within our country and in the psychic of most people that it's like we need to get we're gonna get a female veteran on here.
Yeah.
To explain and talk about that part of her life and the lives of women and the lives of female veterans.
Yeah, and the consequences of not addressing it, and what some people health been affected by that stuff, man, to the point that they're disabled.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes back to this time when nobody voted in the country except white men. White women didn't even have the right to vote.
Yeah.
That was the kind of control they had then, and the nation wasn't growing.
Right.
It was just stagnant.
Yes. Yeah.
Because they wasn't allowing nobody to have any input but them. And they didn't have the knowledge to recognize all of the issues that we need to work on together. Right now, if they would stop this stuff about immigrants, right? We got more jobs opening right now than we got people to fill them.
Exactly.
Biden need to be bold and give all them immigrants work permits.
Yeah.
All of them. If they screen them, give them work permits tomorrow.
Yes.
So we can fill these jobs so this economy can jump off the hinges the way it's supposed to jump off the hinges.
But by doing that, you're exercising control. Now you know who they are. You know where they are. And so yes, they're immigrants, they're in the country, but you know who those immigrants are, where they are, where they're working. And so that element of control you have if you want that. And the government wants that because they want to try. And guess what they're gonna be doing? They're gonna be paying taxes. And so they will become a contributing factor
to this.
Yes, they may have entered the country illegally, but they came here. They didn't come here illegally to do harm.
Right. They came here looking for opportunity.
So
looking
here,
for opportunity.
We're going to provide you with the opportunity. And
we need them.
Yes.
The economy need them. Yeah. Like you say, if they go to work, that more taxes for people that can't work, right?
Yes.
We can do more for veterans. We could do more for senior citizens. We could do more for children,
Yeah.
But what that does, that threatens the few billionaires that controlling everything. That's a threat to them. Because they don't want that kind of control unless they exercise it themselves. We got to shame them folks. They need to be shamed out of doing that the way they doing it, because if everybody that's working today was making at least $75,000 a year, this nation would be like a dreamboat. See, that's what it takes to live the decent life. And every billionaire that would start paying taxes, paying their workers, that still got more money than they'll ever spend in their lifetime.
Exactly.
So it wouldn't hurt them.
No.
It wouldn't hurt them. The church got to wake up and start preaching the word of God and demonstrating it how it works. Because some people think you just preach it on Sunday and then go home and you don't see nothing but Monday. they don't go on their job trying to change the hearts of the people that own the company by showing them we're gonna work good for you.
Yeah.
But we expect more from you.
We expect to be compensated for our work.
We expect to be compensated for our work, and you can't lose no money. You're gonna be because when you work and I'm going to buy stuff out of your stores anyway.
Exactly.
So you're getting that it being recycled.
Yes.
You ain't losing nothing. You're growing stuff, but the hate got to come out of that, Tony.
And greed.
And greed. Greed.
There are so many of them that want more than what they consider their fair share.
Well, they want to be the richest, the most.
Yes.
And that's that's kind of anti-America.
Yeah.
When you want to be the big dog in the show. When you already the big dog, you already own more than you're gonna ever spend.
Yeah.
At a time you got to say, okay, like Bill Gates do a lot of giving.
Yeah.
See, he put his money back where his mouth at in the community. But some of these folks ain't doing that, man. They still. Like the people that did this thing with Donald Trump, the media thing, they so manipulative. They had one week they had them gave him $4 billion in paper. Then the next week it's gone.
Yeah.
What kind of mess is that? See, that's what you call manipulation and scamming the folks. You make them think that you got something, so they're gonna be following you, keeping up with you because they think you the greater who.
Yeah.
But they gonna find out if they mess around and put him in the White House. But I just don't believe it's gonna happen.
I don't. I don't believe it either. I think it will be close because he has that group of followers that will follow him regardless.
Over the mountain.
Yes.
They're gonna fall off over the cliff.
That's it.
And the sad part about it, the court systems are not dealing with it. The Justice Department is not dealing with it the way it need to be dealt with.
Right.
See, one of the things that's happening, by them allowing these people to make threats and all of that, watch and see. A long time after Donald Trump is out of the way, you're going to have people charged with crime making threats against the judges and the prosecutors.
Yeah.
We don't need that, man. Let them folks do what they do. They're part of our constitutional structure. If you don't want to be bothered with the police, stop doing crime. I can tell you how you can get them out of your hair.
Yeah.
Just stop doing the stupid stuff. Because you're not going to get away now. Listen, when I was robbing banks, they didn't have the technology that they had. Now I can get away.
Yeah.
You can't get away now.
No.
I can get away for a little while. But now you can't get away at all.
No.
So we need to change and understand now those people that are doing that, they doing it out of lack.
Yeah.
And there's some greed there because once you start getting it, it's like Lay's potato chips. You can't stop.
You can't eat just one.
You can't eat just one. You're going to go back again because it's easy. I don't care how wrong it is, it's easy.
Yeah.
Especially when you've been military trained, you've been military trained, you can go into situations like nobody else can. And that's what we were doing. Young boys with no sense.
Yeah.
Traumatized by a war, and then nobody say, well, I don't care. I don't care what they suffer because, they're young black men, so let them, fill the penitentiary up with them.
Yeah.
But what happens with that, you're taking away some of the talent of the community.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
A lot of talent. I got stuff, man, and I've seen brothers in prison that got so much talent you be wondering why you are here with all this talent. All this time. And we can't forget some of the greatest people that we seen in music came out of prison. James Brown.
Yeah.
James Brown out of Georgia State Penitentiary. Juvenile system at that. But right now, I always say the old slaves are applauding the enslavement of the new slaves because they lock them up, get them off the street. Well, you might need to get them off the street, but locking them up for years.
Yeah.
That's a waste of talent. And then they get them in there and they don't give them an opportunity to repent.
Absolutely. They just
rehabilitate.
Housing them only.
Yeah.
That's it.
Which makes it worse.
Yeah.
Because see, time passed so fast when you locked up. when you get out and get in the car, it's too fast. You know, everything that you scared because everything is too fast for you. So you ain't rode on a car. I hadn't rode a car in 10 years when I got out the first time. And I got in the car, I'm thinking that they're gonna run over something. You know, my mom and my sister done picked me up. I'm watching the road, but I ain't watching them. I should be glad I'm with them, but I'm watching the road. They moving too fast. Things can be better if we will allow all people, because all of us have made contributions to this country to where it's at now. Immigrants, blacks, whites, all of us have contributed. We just got a handful that's causing this havoc because they're able to manipulate the rest of it because they got the funds. You know, right now, we can trace the money that Trump getting right back to Russia and Saudi Arabia. You know, and that shouldn't happen. We shouldn't have that kind of influence on our presidency. But that's what he's doing. He's dealing with all these billionaires that's in these authoritarian countries, and he likes the way it rolls. So he figured, well, I can do that here in America. Mr. Trump, you know, get over it. Get over. I want to tell you and all your followers, get over that. You know, repent from that stupidity and come on around. Let's be all together. We can all get along, as Rodney King said. We can all get along. All we got to do is try. We got to stop thinking that we don't have enough to share in this country. Right now, Tony, still, in spite of what the mayor's doing, they got enough going on in this city for everybody in it to make $75,000 a year income. Income inequity is a big problem. We need to address that, and in the process of addressing that now, Biden has done a great job with that, because 26 states, 26 of them, minimum wage went over $16 an hour, which is not enough, but it's a stepping stone.
It's a stepping stone. It's a process.
It's a process. So now they got that, worked that a few years, and give them some more. You know, I mean, to the point that everybody got enough to live the American dream. The house, you know, the home, you know, with recreation, with entertainment, you know, with the right to worship your religion. You know, see, right now, we got that stuff so messed up that we got antichrists in the mix like we ain't never had them before. You know, the brother, that guy was praying today that God is in charge. We're approaching end times. You know, the Bible is being fulfilled whether we want it to or not, because it's foretold this stuff. This chaos that we're experiencing now, the Bible done told us about that. We just got to believe the Bible and work the way the Bible says, because, you know, he's going to establish a new earth and a new heaven anyway, whether we want it or not. You know, what we got to be able to do is do the work of loving our brothers like we love ourselves. I want for you what I want for myself.
Exactly.
You know, I'm going to treat you the way I want to be treated. You know, until we get to that, we're going to have some problems.
And unfortunately, that attitude doesn't exist in that 2% that has control of all the
wealth. It doesn't exist. See, but you know, Dr. King, I think of some of the things that Dr. King. Now I'm gonna tell you, Tony, I couldn't let the dogs on me. You know, I couldn't take the water hose, so I wouldn't. I couldn't have been nonviolent. You know, I mean, I just couldn't. I couldn't, so I went into the military. But you know, I want the same thing that Dr. King was talking about, and you know, I have to honor him because he put his life on the line for us to show us that we could overcome. All we had to do is stop cooperating with him. You know, they didn't want Rosa Parks on the bus. He said, "Don't nobody ride the bus."
Yes. And that was just so simple. You know,
broke them down, went out of business, put them out of business. And we can do the same thing to the 2%ers if we would have the courage and the heart. Just stop participating.
Stop participating in their program.
Stop cooperating with their program. You know, and we're gonna do it too. We're gonna reach that time where we're not gonna let violent people threaten us and intimidate us. Really, for the veteran committee population, we don't feel intimidated. We feel agitated.
Yes.
See,
Yeah.
And that's bad for a veteran to feel agitated because see. I know some of them buying AR-15. You don't need no AR-15, bro, because you're going to use it. Don't do that. Because you're going to shoot first and ask questions later.
Yes.
And they're going to put you in jail, too. I want to say that. I want to say that, too, because, I understand that the stuff that we are intolerant of the BS.
Yes.
But we got to be able to tolerate it. We can't let them lure us into violent action. Yeah, protect yourself. I'm not saying don't protect yourself because that was the last thing I could say as a soldier. But I'm saying don't let them manipulate us to the point that we are engaging with them in their foolishness.
Yeah.
Because the intimidation that they think they're doing, that it's aggravating us. It just irritating us. So we are gonna respond with military might and military experience. We're gonna hit and dodge, but we coming at you. We ain't hitting and running, we hitting and dodging because we coming at you. We got to eliminate the threat. That's what they don't understand. We don't tolerate threats. And that's what it agitates me every time I hear this man threaten folks. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, I hope we don't do my mama and my sisters like that.
But that's actually a sign of weakness. That's truly a sign of being a weak person when you have to sit back behind all the stuff that's protecting you and threaten people. And put people down. Talk about it is so childish, but unfortunately too many people are buying into it and listening to it
and doing crazy stuff
and following him following a crazy man saying crazy stuff, resulting in them doing crazy stuff.
Close this out, Tony.
Yeah.
We done did an hour, man. We having fun, man. We just having fun talking veterans talking to veterans.
Veterans talking to veterans. And we want your participation. You tuned in, listening, give us a call. We're listening we want to hear your opinion about the things that we're talking about here on Veterans Talk. So join us next Saturday, same time.
Same place.
Same place.
And share. You can share your show with your family and friends. Do that for us.
Yeah.
Do that for us. Share.
And like us on Facebook.
Yes.